again. We're still testing out some stuff. Welcome back to the podcast. My name is Matthew. This is beautiful Stan and my best friend, Stan Groves.
What's up, bro?
Today we're going to be talking about some news articles in the news today. We're going to be talking about a couple, seeing if it affects real estate and just our opinions of what's happening and what's going to happen.
Yeah, don't trust our opinions.
Just
Just our opinions.
Yeah, we all have opinions, like everything else we all got. But this is just what Stan and I thoughts are, and if it will affect the real estate market, and you take from it what you will at the end of the day.
Absolutely.
But we're going to talk about 4 different articles or headlines that have come up as of late. Is one of the Fed governors has been pushing for lower interest rates over 2026. About 1.5 or a percentage and a half is going to be trying to get accomplished. We'll see if that happens. But the investigation into Jay Powell and the whole remodel going on over there at the Fed building. 50-year mortgages. Have we given up on them? And last but not least is Trump's investigation on, Trump trying to stop investors from buying up single-family homes or any kind of residential property.
Yeah.
Anyone that's calling your eye first that you want to start with?
Let's hit that one first.
The investors.
The big investor conglomerate companies like BlackRock, things like that, owning, controlling the market. Everybody for years have been screaming about the supply issue. Well, when you have buyers of that magnitude, being able to control the market, lost your camera.
Oh no. I don't know if you can hear me now.
I tell you what, it's all your fault.
It's all my fault.
Mr. Jinxton.
I did. That's the trick is happening now. I wonder if the mic's still going. That's going to be awkward.
Probably is.
Probably. Hello. This shows the stream is still going, so the beautiful thing is it just says battery exhausted. Let me see if I have another battery in my bag. Normally this cable charges it and connects it, so I don't know why. It's not doing both.
Or either.
Well, it's trying to do one, but it has to have power to work. Okay. Nice.
Hey.
We are working again. Sorry about that. Technical difficulties if you heard us chattering around. I don't remember where we left off. We're talking about institutional investors.
Exactly, like BlackRock. So with that kind of buying power, that is truly one of the big things that cause a supply issue.
Yeah.
They're going around buying up the good deals. Well, who do we want to see get the good deals? First-time home buyers.
100%.
So, when they disappear off the market, or in a lot of cases, they'll never even show up on the market, that is the problem.
100%.
So I'm a big fan of what Trump's trying to do to kind of limit that. Now, some people would say, well, that's anti-free enterprise. Yeah, I guess so. I guess, at the core of it, it is.
I saw an article, I'm not sure if it was this one, but a different article that said that institutional investors only make up for about 3 to 5% of the buying. It's not a big impact, Stan.
Okay, so if there's a million houses sold in a year, and we take 3 to 5%, let's say 3%. That's a lot of houses. And the ones that they're focused on, for the most part, are the lower priced homes because they know they can turn right around and do like either Section 9
Yeah.
housing or low-income rentals, subsidized by who?
The
Federal government.
You know,
So from a purely business standpoint, genius. But it does affect the market, and it truly affects the opportunities for first-time home buyers. And those are the people that we really, at least I believe,
Yeah.
need to help out. I mean, it's
100%.
the fastest pathway to wealth is through homeownership, period.
Yeah.
Especially when you're smart about your money with it.
100%. It's our biggest investment of everyone's life. If they end up deciding to buy a house, and it's just the appreciation over time. Now, we're not telling you to go buy a house today and resell it in 2 or 3 years. That's just not a good idea. But holding it for 10, 20 years, I mean, it's just long-term investment. The basics.
Yeah, and the equity that you obtain through homeownership. I mean, that's what our first house was. What kind of sprung us forward to buying a super nice house. Once we kept it for a rental.
Yeah.
And it penciled even after we pulled equity out of it to help us buy our next place. So yeah, I mean, we could give a class after class on how that's done. That's a totally different subject for a different day. But yeah, it is. It's just super important if people really truly want to develop that wealth and stability in their life. And that's all Trump's trying to accomplish.
Yeah.
He's trying to take those players out of it to give more availability to first-time home buyers.
And let's say he's successful in banning institutional investors from purchasing single-family properties. Do you think that's gonna just gonna go from that point on? Is it not gonna let them buy it, or do you think it's gonna be a retroactive of you gotta sell all the houses that you purchased is illegal now? Or what do you think is gonna happen if something like that is passed?
Just guessing, I don't think he's gonna make them do anything, but from a business standpoint, they might cut them loose.
Yeah.
You know, then again, they may not. They've got them, they're in their portfolio. It all depends on what they're doing with that income.
Yeah.
You know, so I can't speak to that. Honestly, I'm not BlackRock. If I was, I would be doing the podcast.
100%. But what do you think differentiate, I guess, an institutional investor? I mean, you could have an LLC that has 10, 20 properties in the local area, and what's the difference between that and an institutional investor?
You know, that's a great question, Matt, because I'm not sure what does construe that, because I follow a gal named Jennifer Bettles. She and her husband, I met her a couple years ago, and they've got well over 100 doors.
Yeah.
I mean, in my opinion, that would be pretty close to an institutional investment. And they're always looking for deals. Her and her husband are always looking for stuff, and they buy, everything they buy is got no more than 50% on it, loan to value. So they're super smart about their investments, but they have a lot of doors.
Yeah.
And they've done a great job doing it. So I don't know. I don't know what that number looks like. I don't know if it's a monetary thing or what, but I mean, you can surely look at, I guess it's like car dealerships, right? I mean, you've seen some of the huge car dealerships, and you've lived in Vegas for a while, and I mean, there's some big dealerships down there. And then up here, we've got some decent sized ones, but nothing like compared to Vegas.
Obviously, I mean, it's also population wise. I mean, in Vegas obviously tends to be a lot bigger, and trying to make it more, more selection for the people that are there, just for population wise.
So yeah, I don't know what that number looks like.
Good question. We'll have to see if it even happens.
Right. Exactly.
Hopefully it does, and what that entails. I mean, we might be having a different conversation here in a year, complaining about what he's trying to implement. Anything over 10 doors, you know?
I mean, we could say he passes it, and then 6 months from now, the market gets flooded with houses in the bottom. I mean, the bottom drops out by 20%, 30%. Better buy some houses.
100%. It's all supply and demand. If we have too much supply and not enough demand, obviously prices are going to come down.
Yep.
Let's go to we have Fed Waller favors more rate cuts next year. Chris Waller said Wednesday that he anticipates cutting interest rates further next year to shore up a cooling job market. The labor market's telling you we should continue to cut rates. And as realtors, obviously, we're a little bit biased on cutting rates, but I mean, what's your opinion? Do you do you think Powell has any, I guess, standing of not cutting rates, or?
I really, yeah, my quick answer is no. I don't think Powell has done a good job at all with this. I mean, if you look internationally, the European countries and stuff, they were cutting rates, what, a year prior to us even talking about it? Even though, the Republicans, the conservatives wanted it to be cut because we had mass inflation that the Biden administration was saying didn't exist.
Yeah.
So it's just, how could globally all these other countries be experiencing inflation and the U.S. not?
Yeah.
It's common sense. So yeah, Powell did not do a good job. Now, I think Waller's after Powell's job.
Maybe.
So, I mean, which if I was Waller, I'd be saying the same thing. Yeah, we're gonna drop rates. Because realistically, we do have a supply issue right now. Yeah. And with that shortage of supply, the lower the rates will help out for, once again, first-time home buyers, which then causes the sellers that are living in first-time home buyer houses to get their second home. And a lot of people are frozen right now. They don't want to move because they've got good rates. If they bought in the last 5, 6 years, 7 years, they're in a really good rate. They don't want to mess with it. So I don't blame anybody for that. I mean, I'm one of them. So,
especially people bought back then with that really good rate. I know a lot of them bought because the house that they bought was because they couldn't literally get anything else, and they kind of regret it. But I mean, I think that was kind of an issue because everyone saw these crazy rates, like, oh, we have to buy something, but now they're just stuck with something they never wanted to buy in the first place, and they're in a bad position. And I guess hindsight's 2020 at that point. Like, maybe you shouldn't have bought at that point. It was crazy. The FOMO was crazy, but now you're just stuck. Like, when you buy a house, it's a big decision. You should stay in there 5, 10 years at a minimum before thinking about making a move, not just buying a house because 2% free money, which I get, but it's still an awful decision to make, all based on emotion.
Yeah, but we're Americans. I mean, there's auction. Everybody's been to an auction, right? How many people have bought shit at an auction that they didn't intend to buy? Yeah. Every time I go to an auction with my wife, we leave with a car full of stuff. It's like, what the hell?
I don't think you should be going to auctions, Stan.
I don't like to go to auctions. I hardly ever go. In fact, I was telling her no whenever she's like, hey, there's an auction. No, we're not going. So, no, I mean, yeah, that's kind of an American thing. And, good, bad, or ugly, it's who we are. Yeah. So, but yeah, people that are frozen in a really good rate, even though they may not be happy with either the floor plan, location, or whatever with their house, they should feel good about that rate because they are gaining equity upon equity, especially if, some of the few people that are paying extra payments and things like that every year, they're knocking that damn thing down fast. Mm-hmm. So, and then when it is time to sell it, and if there is opportunity to get their dream house or something close to it, they've got all that equity there.
Question for you. I know, obviously, going back to the crazy inflation that we've had over the COVID time era, to my understanding, is the Fed interest rate is one of the few tools that we have to allow to try to suck up some of that money that was printed. And in my opinion, I mean, if that's one of the few tools that we have to be able to take that inflation and bring it back down, I mean, why not keep it? I know it sucks for real estate and for our jobs and whatnot, but to try to bring some of that inflation down, soak up some of that money that was printed during COVID, I mean, isn't that worth it in the short term?
There's only really one person that can answer that question, Matt, and that's God. Yeah. Because between the extra printing of cash and then all the corruption that we're finding out, you and I were just talking about that earlier, not just what's happening in these other states, but we're just talking locally. Even I know a guy that had that PPE money falsified and had to. He's either in jail right now as we speak, or he paid it back. But I mean, he's got a couple $1 million sitting out there that money that really truly wasn't his. Yeah. So who knows? Yeah. I mean, I don't know that as a country we have the capabilities to even hedge our bets against all that corruption and all that money. I mean, I think all of us would be just absolutely stunned if we knew the real numbers.
100%.
Yeah. I don't think anybody can actually find the real numbers. If we look at every state and in the union, and I can't even think about it.
All these people we have employed with the government who can't get a single product to have all the numbers written down. It's all over the place. But anyways, back to real estate. We're not getting into conspiracies. But in the article, do you know what polymorph is?
No.
People place their bets pretty much an online thing of like you could bet on anything and like, do you think this is going to happen X, Y, or Z? But so there's something that's like, will the Fed cut rates twice in 2026? And people bet on it, yes or no. So it's like real time feedback of what people are seeing in the country right now.
Okay.
And so there's only a 28% chance that people are thinking that they'll cut rates twice in 2026. The Fed will. So that's our own Americans putting their money down and saying that up to 28% chance that they think they'll cut rates. So
I think they will.
62%.
I'm gonna go against the grain, and I'm gonna say that there's 100% chance they're gonna cut twice.
You think so?
Yep.
We got a meeting at the end of this month. See what happens.
Meeting at the end of this month.
Yeah.
Powell's out in what?
May.
March. May. Okay, May. Yeah. 100%.
He's out as chairman, but he's still going to be on the board
Yep.
till 28.
Yep.
But we shall see what happens. I personally think I could see more than 2 times, but I could see how everyone could be pessimistic that nothing's going to happen as well at the same time.
I would like to see their. Of course, you said that's a betting thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's not like reports or inside knowledge, just normal people.
Yeah,
just
it wasn't a poll.
Yeah,
you know.
those people putting their money on it.
Okay.
So they're.
I'm very surprised because I really think that they're gonna cut it definitely more than twice.
Me too, but 28% of people don't think so. Going back to our next article, the Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac president Bill Pulte was asked about 50-year mortgages, and his response was, "We have other priorities than pursuing this 50-year mortgage plan that was introduced. So we're looking at everything. We present the president with anywhere between 30 to 50 different options to improve affordability. It will be up to the president to decide which, if any, of these he wants to do." So it sounds like to me, I mean, I don't know if we're necessarily stepping back from 50-year mortgages. I think we just presented to see how people would feel about it and then go, I guess, with what people think. I don't know. What are your thoughts on the 50-year?
I think you're right about your analysis on it. I think it was thrown out there as kind of a let's see if people buy it, see what they think. I'm not a huge fan of it. I mean, I would just as soon go to a lender, talk to a lender, and look at what my best case scenario is, and then figure out, is this a long-term play? Is this a property I'm going to stay in, or is this a stair-step property? You know, if it's a stair-step property, who cares? Your goal is to just try to buy something. Hopefully, it's a good deal, and obtain some equity in it. Take a step back in 5 to 7 years and go, all right, great investment house. Let's move on to our next one. So, or for some people, it's great investment house. Let's sell it, take our equity, and move on to the next one.
Yeah.
So, or take some equity out to invest in something. So, going back to our previous conversation, I do believe that home ownership is your best pathway to wealth. And if you're focused on that, and you're doing the right moves, and you're not just buying a house just to buy a house because you have nothing better to do, then the 50-year mortgage thing, that's irrelevant.
Yeah.
It really is, because like I said, I mean, we got Keith Pitch here in our office. You know, we could grab him and say, you know, what do you think, Keith? And he'd probably say the same thing. Let's look at the interest rates. Let's look at the long-term plan, what you're planning on doing.
Yeah.
So yeah, I do think you're right. They just threw it out there just for fishing.
Yeah.
Clickbait.
Just to see what happens. I think, like you said, if it's a stair-step property, it's just another tool in the arsenal of loan products that people have available to take a look at. And each one is different. Each one's going to have its own utilities and whatnot. If it's a first-time home buyer or a stair-step property, like you said, I mean, who cares at the end of the day? I mean, regardless of houses or loan products, the typical time people stick in one of those products, either staying in the house or in that loan product, 7 to 8 years at the end of the day. And so by that 7 to 8 year mark, either people going to refinance, stay in the house, going to sell, or what have you.
Right.
So
It's 100% right. I mean, very few of us know people that have stayed in their houses for the full term of a mortgage.
100%.
So my parents did,
Yeah.
which was kind of rare. And they also made extra payments and you got to pay it off early and all that stuff. So, but yeah, rare.
You know, the only people that I know that stayed in the same property for over 30 years is my grandparents in Poland. They raised my mom and her 3 sisters in a 2-bedroom apartment, and they're still there to this day.
No way.
Yes, sir.
Wow. We should have them on the podcast. Holy smokes.
So my mom is 52 now. Her whole childhood with her sisters and the whole family in that 2-bedroom apartment.
Dude. That's amazing.
You know, the only people I know. But
what about your folks? I mean, I know this is getting off track, but how long have they been in their house?
since 2013.
Oh, okay.
So
Not very long.
not very long, no. They bought right when I was leaving to join the military. They decided to buy a bigger house when everyone left. But you know, with a bigger, because we're in a townhouse my whole childhood in a townhouse, and by the time I left to go join the military, everyone's out of the house. They're like, we need our own single family home. Okay, what do you do with all this space? They got 3,000 square feet on half an acre. But all right.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
What are you gonna do? That's what they wanted.
That's cool.
But last story is good old Jay Powell, his federal inquiry on what is going on. Let me bring up this story. Let's go to New York Post. Disclaimer, it's a New York Post article that I'm going to be reading off. President Trump was asked about this investigation that is going into Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell. He said, I don't know anything about it, but he's certainly not a very good Fed chair and not very good at building buildings. The original budget for the renovation of the federal bank building was $2.5 billion, which is a pretty big budget for a renovation at the end of the day. And Trump is projecting that it's currently at over budget at $3.1 billion. And by the time they're done, it'll probably be closer to $4 billion, which is insanity to say the least.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we were talking about earlier is that they're trying to put a parking garage underneath an existing building.
Yes.
It's like, what are you thinking? Like the structure is there already. Let's just like suspend it in the air and start digging out from underneath it. Like what?
Yeah, I guess I was right at that part reading that, and they had to shore up the building, reinforce the current pilings, then dig down underneath it, and while digging, make sure that it was going to stay up. It's like
It doesn't fall onto them digging it and the whole building collapse.
Exactly. So I don't know. I mean, talk about wasting taxpayer money. I mean, yeah, I understand renovations and improving stuff, but holy cats, that's crazy. So my thought is, yes, I agree with Trump. Jerome Powell should not be a general contractor. And number two, it just doesn't make any sense from a taxpayer perspective for that to go down. No. Why don't we just start over?
Yeah.
I think honestly. Then into a modern building, I mean, one of the articles I was reading was talking about upgrading the HVAC systems and this and that. Then they ran into mold, and they ran into lead and asbestos. It's like, well, those are all signs of problems from the past. You know, they don't use asbestos anymore. The mold issues, it's probably because it's not ventilated well.
100%.
So, I mean, yeah, you can see why it could potentially overrun from original costs. I mean, I did a remodel, and yeah, we were over budget by, probably 20%. But that's because we were doing stuff to suit our needs.
Mhm.
I don't know much, really what to say about that. That's just ridiculous. The fact that we as taxpayers in America are paying for that.
I just did a quick Google search because I know that the U.S. Coast Guard just built a brand new building in downtown Washington, D.C. Like they built it from the ground up. And I was trying to get a quick approximation of how much that brand new building cost from the bottom up. It says approximately $435 million was funded largely by the American Recovery and Reinvestment Act. It was awarded back in 2009, but I don't know what the actual cost figure is. But if it's under $1 billion for a brand new building,
That's one fourth of the price.
of renovating the
Yep.
federal building,
Yeah.
that is insane. And I know for a fact that Coast Guard building, it's like all modern and it has all these windows and whatnot. But being a military headquarters, they need to have the different levels of security clearances, top secret and all
Right.
that. And so I know even those panes of glass had to have special film for signals not to be able to come into the building. So there had to be some high-tech stuff going on into that building. And it's just obviously going to cost more. But if it's anywhere near close to under $1 billion for a brand new building, that just shows us that they should have renovated, just build it from scratch
Right.
at $4 billion.
Yeah,
Even
exactly.
at the $2.5 billion originally, you're like,
Right.
that doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't. I mean, even if they were at $1 billion, even if they're at $1.5 billion, I mean, honestly, like that just, yeah. I'm stymied by that whole thing. Every time I hear about the cost and they keep saying it's going up and going up and going up, it's like, man alive. And now it's so torn apart. They've got to finish it.
Yep, exactly. Because
they're kind of fully committed now. I mean,
this Bloomberg article says that it's close to $3.9 billion to build a new headquarters. So I'm not sure exactly what. I just tried to do a quick Google search, but even at that point, it's the same cost.
Right.
Brand new building.
Yep.
Several renovations.
brand spanking new,
Yeah.
and it'd be all high tech. I mean, yeah, that same article I was reading, they were talking about trying to retrofit it for newer, better elevators.
Mhm.
Like, I hear the word retrofit, it just, I mean, I know it's not the same thing, but I watch a lot of classic car shows, like, one down in Scottsdale, what's that auction down there?
Good question.
Dang
The big one, right?
it. Yeah, it's a big one. Anyway, it's on every
Yeah.
spring.
Yeah.
But yeah, when you do a resto mod on I'd say like a Chevy or whatever it is, I mean, you're spending a lot of money to get it to a current vehicle, but with that classic look.
Yeah.
Same thing as this building.
It's this square peg in a round hole.
Yeah,
That's
it
what
is.
exactly what
It
we're trying
really
to do.
is. Yeah,
So,
Barrett Jackson. I mean,
very good.
yeah.
Nice. But then you have everyone complaining as well that President Trump's new ballroom is going to cost $400 million. It's not even paid by a taxpayer.
I know it's being funded by private
Yeah.
people.
Which people have their own thoughts about whether it should or should not be. But at the end of the day, I mean, we're doing renovations. He's completely tearing out the West Wing and re-putting it in there. And he's built buildings, and he could keep it in budget
Mhm.
and get a good quote, pretty accurate to it.
Absolutely,
And so, I mean, people are just upset just because Trump's doing it.
they are.
But
Yeah, that's bottom line. Well, whatever. I mean, I don't really care about the ballroom.
I don't either. I don't care.
I'm not going there.
Maybe you'll be invited. You never know.
Maybe. If you guys watch our podcast, help us out. Maybe.
Yeah. President Trump. Any final thoughts, Dan?
No, I mean, I thought those were all good articles. I mean, whether or not they truly affect real estate, the interest rate one, definitely, and I do foresee adjustments happening. It has to. And the biggest reason why it has to is because we experience it every day. There's a lot of people that you've talked to, that I talk to, that are considering moving, but they've got this sweet interest rate. And if we can just bridge that gap even closer, maybe not necessarily 3.25%, but if it's 4-ish, it's going to go crazy. And those people will get out of their houses, they'll sell them to a first-time home buyer or whatever, and it all trickles up and gets the economy going again. It affects builders, it affects contractors. it affects all the people that are associated with the build of a house, you know, from developers all the way to your plumber and electrician.
Exactly right.
So,
And just thinking about the bringing down the interest rate, I know they talked about the carrying of your existing interest rate to another property. We haven't heard about that in a while too. I wonder if that's one of the 30 to 50 options that they've given them. I haven't heard about that in a minute either. So I wonder if that's something that could happen or not. But
bring it back.
let me carry this over to the next purchase. But that's all I got.
Yeah, me too.
I guess, Sam.
Till next time.
Yes, sir.
See you, kids.
Bye.